In this video, we're going to be going over how to create call lists in Salesforce and how those are leveraged in Canon Connect. So right here, we're actually looking at one already, and we're going to start from the ground up by going and clicking the app launcher and then typing in call lists. Here we can see it pop up, and we'll click into that. That'll bring us to this section, and we're going to create a brand new one. In this case, I want to work with some of my test leads so that I could test out the features of this system. Since I'm working specifically with leads, I'm going to want to select the object being the lead itself, and I'm going to leave the rest alone. When you refresh the tab, you can see that the Canon Connect ID will become populated, which means that it has synced over to the system. If I click and open the phone, I can go over to the power dialer and I can see my call lists. To populate this call list, we're going to end up using Salesforce reports. We'll head over to reports, and then we're going to click a new report. The one I'm looking for is leads, so I'll end up creating a leads report. And now for my use case, I'm going to add some filters that apply to get me the people that I want. So some of the ones I want is that I want to select all the leads, create it all time. Some things we usually also recommend is always getting rid of the converted. And now what I'm going to do now is add in my specific filters that I need, one of them being the first name contains lead or test. Now going to refresh and see the results. And it looks like I have less results than I want. I'm going to actually add in another filter. And I'm going to add some filter logic for these. Now that I have the leads that I'm interested in, the one other thing I want to add is the lead ID. One last thing that I'll want is to add a grouping, which usually our preference is to go for last activity, because then you could sort by when these were last touched, and then they will load into Canon Connect in that direction, so that then we would want our reps to call these people who have never been contacted first. From here, I'm going to save and run. And we're going to go with the all test leads. And we need to select the proper folder. The folder you're going to want to put this in is in the Canon Connect campaign reports, which is where our component will read from. Now, while you don't have to put it in that folder, that is the one way that when we go back to our test leads and we hit the refresh button here, this will load in any of those reports that are put in there, making it a little bit easier for you to say, add this report. Okay, I want to rename this list and add this. I could click the update button and this will add the report ID as is. You could also get the report ID from the URL up here. Now that we have a report in here and we have our visibility and everything set, we can now go into the phone and refresh this list. We can now see that we have 11 leads in the list. Refreshing this call list will now show that the campaign members have been loaded in as well. And I'm able to see all 11 of them because on all of these leads, I am currently the owner. This is an important factor because the visibility of this call list is set to record owner. So it is based on who owns the lead. Now, if you change this to a group or a role, then what will happen is that you will need to add a group or role ID from Salesforce, and you will need to create a group in Canon Connect. For now, what we're going to do is we're going to creating the group here in Salesforce, as well as adding the group and role ID. So you will go to Setup, Public Group, and now we'll create a new group. The one that I'm going to name it is going to be our Product BD for Product Business Developers. I'm now going to search for some users to add in. And now I will end up saving. When I head back to here, I can now refresh this page with a good hard refresh. And this component down here will actually give us the ID. You can get the ID of the group in other ways, but this is just a convenience factor for you. With this group ID, we'd want to update this call list. And then in Canon Connect, we want to set up a group with this ID. We also need to make sure that our visibility is set to group or role. What this will now do is that anyone who is a part of this group will be able to call all of these leads. So it's no longer based on who owns the record. Owning the record as using lead ownership to separate the call list makes it easier for you to have many people using the same list without stepping on each other's toes and calling the same person. But we've also given you that ability to be able to use the same list and have everyone call the same set of people. So in case you take turns calling a list. To learn more about setting up the group, please check out our next video that comes up on group management. You'll end up creating this group over in Canon Connect.